Welcome, everyone, in person and online. What you're about to experience will be an out-of-this-world situation. Teachers from the Spaceport Area Conference for Educators, or SPACE Conference, will soon talk directly with an astronaut on board the International Space Station via amateur radio or ham radio. This amateur contact is performed by an international team of volunteers via a program called ARISS, Amateur Radio on the International Space Station. Today's contact opportunity will be about 10 minutes long, the amount of time from rise to set of the space station over one of our volunteer ground stations. Let me introduce myself. I'm Frank Bauer. My amateur radio call sign is KA3HDO. And I'm the executive director of the nonprofit ARISS USA and the chair of the ARISS International Working Group. Our ARISS volunteers work with NASA and the other space agencies to schedule about 60 to 80 of these contacts per year. We support youth from kindergarten to college. Prior to each contact, youth spend about 4 to 6 months preparing for their contact with STEAM-related activities and research. Examples of that include space exploration, ISS and satellite research investigations, and satellite orbits, education kits like our Sparky radio kit, and wireless technologies. All ARISS contacts are performed using our onboard amateur radio hardware and via the help of our flight operations volunteers. Our space-to-ground system is independent from space station's communications capability system and serves as a backup comm system if all else fails. You're welcome to learn more about ARISS through several opportunities here at Space. This includes Martha Mears' presentation today at 1:45 in room 9030. 9030, and at our ARISS booth tomorrow. We also hold ARISS professional development opportunities, which include a tutorial and copy of our Sparky radio kit. Our next professional development is this weekend. However, it is completely full. While every ARISS contact is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, this contact is exceptionally rare. Instead of youth on the radio talking to the astronaut on space station, we've invited space conference educators to do the talking. Today, our teachers will talk with ISS astronaut Sultan Al Nayati, call sign KI5VTV, from the United Arab Emirates. So our contact today will be performed using an amateur radio ground station located in Queensland, Eastern Australia, developed and operated by ARISS volunteer Shane Lind, VK4KHZ. Shane, please introduce yourself and say a few words, your location, your station, and how much time we have before the contact starts.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. We have about 1 minute and 30 seconds before contact time. Hi, my name's Shane Lind, and I'll be your ARISS ground station operator for today. I'm located in the small semi-remote mining community of Glendon in Queensland, Australia. Frank, I think I'll put it back to you now. We have about 1 minute, 15 seconds for acquisition of signal.
Thank you. So all of our educators are ready, and with the time of the ARISS contact quickly approaching, we want to remind all to please mute your cell phones and be as quiet as possible. And it's also important to remember that what we're doing on ISS is an experiment. So we never quite know the result until the experiment is finished. And that also includes how many individuals get to talk to the astronaut on board space station. And teachers, as you know, don't forget to say over at the end of your question. The ISS will soon enter visual and audio range with Shane's station. So Shane, it's all yours. Good luck.
Thank you, Frank. Okay, everyone in their positions, please. I'm going to start calling in just a few seconds. About 45 seconds to go. Righto. Calling NA1SS, NA1SS, NA1SS. This is Victor Kilo 4, Kilo Hotel Zulu, VK4KHZ, calling for a scheduled contact. Can you receive? Over.
Victor Kilo 4, Kilo Hotel Zulu. This is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. I have you loud and clear.
Excellent. Good morning to you there, Sultan El Nayadi. Sultan, we have the participants in Florida standing by for you, Educators Conference, with their questions. Please go ahead with the first question.
Hi, my name is Casey Hines with the Limitless Space Institute. How much noise is there on the ISS compared to your workspace on the ground, and how do you adapt? Over.
Hello, Casey. Very good question. It's quite noisy here on board the International Space Station because we need ventilation. In space, we need to circulate gas. So imagine that you breathe out CO2 and you create a CO2 bubble above your head. So that is why we need ventilation going around the clock. But we have some places that are really quiet, like the crew quarters, and we adapt very well with the noise overall. Over.
Hi, my name is Isabel Kennedy with the Astronauts Memorial Foundation. I'm asking this question on behalf of Lisa Winninger. What are the skills that you had to learn or practice to complete your work on the ISS? Over.
Very good question. So to be able to travel to space, and particularly to the ISS, we spend many years training for various skills. So we start with building camaraderie with our teams and with our crew members. So this is really important to be able to perform within a group. And then we go into all sorts of skills like doing maintenance, either inside the ISS or outside, specifically when we do EVA. And when we talk about EVA, we spend many hours in a simulation environment. It's the NBL, the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. That is one of the most important training that we have. And on top of that, we get to practice science. So we are acting on behalf of the scientists on the ground to be their hands, ears, and eyes here on board the International Space Station. Over.
Hello, my name is Lisa Warner, and I'm a music teacher from St. Bruno Parish School in Wisconsin. Do you play any music on instruments or your personal devices while on the ISS? And if so, what do you play? Over.
Very interesting question. So personally, I don't play any instrument, but we have some crew members here. They have their own guitar, and they do play specifically during the weekends and the break times. We have a keyboard. I'm not sure if anybody also capable of playing keyboard, but we have various kind of instrument that depends on the crew member who is interested to do so. Over.
Hello, my name is Dr. Cassandra Zielinski. I'm a STEM specialist for Mountain View Elementary School. If a student is interested in becoming an astronaut, what nutrition and exercise advice would you provide them for training on Earth versus training on the ISS? Over.
Very important question. So overall, I think it's very important to sustain a very good well-being. Either you want it to be an astronaut in the future or just being healthy overall. So yeah, having a good diet that very nutritious and sleeping well and maintaining very good health and avoiding all the harmless stuff. I think this is a thing that anybody can do. And specifically when we talk about space, you have to be in a very good shape that you will be able to sustain the harsh environment of the space, specifically weightlessness. So without a proper bone density or muscle mass, you might have a problem if you come to space without exercising. Over.
Hi, my name is Julia Barney with the Astronauts Memorial Foundation, asking a question on behalf of Jackie Bloomer. What is the one trait that you think is absolutely necessary to become an astronaut? Over.
Thank you for the question. So I think one of the most attributes, I would say, is to be humble. No matter what your background is or no matter what your degree is, there are some room to learn something new. So I remember after years and years of training on the ground and even earning a PhD in my field, coming here to the ISS, I was just like a new student learning in a new class. So there are always room for improvement, always room to learn something new. So you have to be humble and keep going. Over.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Whalen with the Astronauts Memorial Foundation, asking a question on behalf of Rhonda McCarthy. If you have been on an EVA or near an astronaut that has been on one, is there any detectable smell? What does space smell like? Over.
Very good question. So I remember after my first EVA coming back to the station, and when I took off my helmet, I just laughed and I said, okay, this is the smell of the ISS. And my crew member said, no, this is smell of space. So honestly, it's like a metallic smell or something like a carbon, burned carbon smell. But yeah, it's really distinct. And surprisingly, after a few like hours here on board the International Space Station, it just become like a normal smell. Over.
Hi, my name is Spencer Jones, and I am asking a question on behalf of Pam Krause. What do you do to handle the monotony of long-term confinement to a small controlled environment? Over.
So when we say a small environment, indeed, the ISS is a confined place, but it is as big as a six-bedroom house. We have a lot of modules here on board the International Space Station. We have two large sections. The ISS has the American segment and the Russian segment, and we have many, many places to enjoy ourselves, like watching down to Earth from the cupola, or even spending our own time in the crew quarters, or doing various things in different modules. So I don't feel like it's like a confined or a very constrained place overall. Over.
Hi, I'm Lisa Stewart from Scott Elementary and Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. Do you have any hobbies that helped prepare you for your work aboard the ISS? Over.
Thank you for the question. So I don't have like a specific hobby that I would say I practice here on the ISS, but I honestly think that I developed a sense of love for photography, specifically when we have a window that is looking down to Earth. So photography is becoming something big. I spend most of my free time just taking pictures of our beautiful planet. Over.
Hi, my name is Natalie Lopez, and I'm asking a question on behalf of Melissa Pfaff. Are your dreams different in zero-G?
Very funny question. I mean, honestly, we dream the same. I don't recall dreaming differently, but maybe on the second or the third night, just waking up, opening my eye, and felt the flotation. I felt like I was floating, and I immediately thought I was falling. So that was kind of a daydream plus a dream that I woke up from, just feeling that I was falling. Over.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Torres. I'm a teacher in Puerto Rico and also in Puerto Rico Space Grant NASA. In behalf of my students in Puerto Rico, I give you a question in Spanish and English. ¿Cuál es tu impresión cuando ves la Tierra desde otra perspectiva? How is your impression when you see from another perspective the Earth, the geography, and the ocean? Over.
Thank you for your question. So, honestly, seeing Earth from up here, it's really a profound experience, and you start to appreciate things that you take for granted. For example, you have an access to free oxygen, and you have access to water, and you have access to a moderate temperature. All of these things we're doing artificially here on board the International Space Station. So we do need to appreciate that we are living in a planet, and the resources are limited. So we have to keep it intact, and we have to protect it in all possible ways. Over.
Hi, I'm Debbie Reynolds from Commonwealth Charter Academy in Pennsylvania. What would surprise us that you are unable to do in space that we take for granted here on Earth? Over.
Thank you, Debbie. So, without thinking, it's gravity. We're missing gravity here. Anything that you put, we won't stay. That's why we use Velcros, we use tapes, and we use clips to put our items in one space, in one place. So, for example, if you doing an experiment and you just put things around you floating, instead of you doing science, you'll be chasing those items. So yeah, we do miss gravity that we take for granted on Earth. Over.
Less than 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Shruti Shankaraman with ARISS, and I'm reading a question on behalf of Christopher Mick. What types of activities are taking place on board the ISS that are a part of NASA's Moon to Mars efforts? Over.
So for more than 20 years, all the science that we're conducting here on board the International Space Station, be it the technologies or be it the medicine science or the material science, are all directed for the benefits of humanity and further exploring in space. So stepping stone, I would say, is the moon, and most of the technology that were developed here on the ISS will be definitely applicable on the moon.
Hi, I'm Audrey Nanigan. I teach at Manson Northwest Webster in Iowa. My question is, commitment to the International Space Station has been shown through 2030 for several countries. After that, what's next? What do my students have to look forward to? Over.
NA1SS, NA1SS, this is Victor Kilo 4 Kilo Hotel Zulu. Can you still copy? Over? Yeah, I'm sorry everyone, we've lost signal with the International Space Station as it's passed over the horizon. This is VK4KHZ clear.
Wow, that was pretty amazing, wasn't it? We've all been involved now in a phenomenal distance learning experience. What kind of distance is this, all right? Featuring the teachers from the Spaceport Area Conference for Educators, speaking to astronaut Sultan Al Niadi on the International Space Station. On behalf of ARISS International Team, all of its volunteers, and our major sponsors, the American Radio Relay League, which is our National Amateur Radio Society, the Amateur Radio Digital Communications organization that's sponsoring our activity with the radio kit, AMSAT, the ISS National Lab, of course, the Astronaut Memorial Foundation, and then, of course, our space agencies, NASA and the other international participating space agencies. This is Frank Bauer, my amateur radio call sign KA3HDO, sending my greetings to all of you in traditional amateur radio terms. 73's best wishes. And thank you, Shane. Give Shane a big round of applause.
Thanks, Shane. Good job.
Thank you very much. Shane, what time is it in your part of the world?
It's now 1:07 in the morning. That's Thursday morning, Frank.
Okay, so this is a volunteer, remember, getting up at this time of morning to support you all. Thank you, Shane. And I want to take a moment to thank all of the other ARISS volunteers that helped, that are in the background, and that includes Charlie that's online, and Dave, and then of course the whole AMF team that have helped us make this happen. So thank you, Isabel, Kaylee, Chris, and others. Thank you. And with that, I will call this a close. Thank you all online as well as in person attending. This was pretty phenomenal.